Hey peepsy doodles. Alrighty, so today I want to do another viewer request video. I was hoping to do it Friday, but my weekend got away from me as it normally does. So today's video comes from Miriam from my Facebook post, and she wanted to know, with Litha coming up, which Litha is actually today, how to go about creating a ritual for Sabbats being solitary. Now, I thought that this was a fantastic subject because a lot of people have a really hard time finding information on Sabbats for solitaries, which, I mean, there's books everywhere that has a lot of the information in it, but like I think the first book that I read about the rituals was Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft, and he talks a lot about the priest and the priestess. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? I'm solitary, so what am I supposed to do? Only one person. And so one of the wonderful things that you need to understand being a solitary is that you can make your Sabbat celebration as simplistic or as complex as you'd like. You can have a full-blown ritual, which I actually have in my book here, because normally for like regular Sabbats and stuff I don't do like a full-blown circle ritual, but for some of the Sabbats I do, and so I actually have like page, and then another page. I have the charge of the god and goddess written down. I have all of that stuff for rituals that are Sabbats that I see it necessary to do that. But you don't have to do that. But one of the wonderful things, if you wanted to, is that you can pick and choose and put together any kind of ritual that you want. One of the things that I like to do is, so I use, I created my own elemental calling in of the watchtowers. I think I told you guys them in one of my other videos. So I created my own of those. I created, you know, I wrote my own way of calling in the god and goddess. You know, I have it all written down. Sometimes it's better if you just talk and it just comes from the heart. But if you want to write things down, so be it. Go right ahead and do so. And then one of the things I like to do is to research different invocations for that Sabbat. So one of the places that I like to look is in Silver Ravenwolf's Solitary Witch. I don't use her entire ritual format, but I like to use just the invocation because she likes to rhyme, and I really like rhyming. For me, rhyming in rituals and in spells really puts me in that that magical mode. Puts me in magic mode. So I really like, you know, and you can, by all means, you can definitely create your own and write your own invocation to that Sabbat. You know, just take different things from the Sabbat and what that Sabbat means to you. So think of Litha. Think of summer. It's the summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year. The sun. You know, when I think of summer, I think of bonfires. I mean, there's just so many things. You can get into the lore. You can get into the god and goddess and the phases and where they are, and you can get into so much to write all of that into an invocation that you use for yourself. Or you can just look something up and just use it in your ritual until you find. If you love the one that you find, then just incorporate it into your ritual. If you don't love one that you find, then create your own. But please understand that you do not have to do a full-blown ritual on Sabbats. One of the things that I really like to do is to try my hardest to get outside, especially during these Sabbats that are absolutely beautiful. I know that it's the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere right now, so they might not have the absolutely gorgeous weather that we up here in the northern hemisphere, are having. But being up here, it's like 70 out right now. You know, it's a wonderful time to get outside, maybe make some sun tea, you know, maybe sit out with a book, maybe go to the beach. Maybe just go out and sit in the woods or sit in the grass and just kind of be. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is a wonderful way to honor the Sabbat and to just be with nature on that day. You know, for Samhain, you know, you can set a place at your dinner table for those that have crossed over and have them have dinner with you. You can do different kinds of divination because the veils between the worlds are the thinnest. You can go to the cemetery and leave offerings at gravestones. I mean, those are perfectly good ways to observe that holiday. You can, like for Imbolc, one of the things I love to do with it being the Festival of the Lights is to spend the entire day while I'm at home, because work, you obviously can't do this, but while I'm at home, to have all of the lights off and to do everything by candlelight that day in observance of the Festival of the Lights, to have literally candles everywhere and to do everything by candlelight. You know, I don't do a big fancy ritual. I just do it that way. Normally, one of the few Sabbats that I do a full-blown ritual for is Yule, and that's because a lot of times around here, being in quite the northern part of the U.S., I have a lot of snow and it's hard to get outside. So I like to do full-blown rituals during Yule. Sometimes I do them on Beltane, but Beltane's a really good time with it being having the balefire and the maypole, you know, to get outside and to have a bonfire and, you know, to throw some herbs into the fire and to do your little spell work. And, you know, it doesn't all have to be full-blown ritual all the time. That's something that it took me a long time to figure out. But as a solitary, that just gives you that much more room to explore and to expand and to do what feels right for you on that holiday. You know, if you're sitting here and it's Litha and you're like, you know, I want to go swimming, I want to go outside, I want to go, you know, play in the sand and blah, 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 and do that. That's a wonderful way to observe the day. You know, just kind of be mindful of the Sabbath while you're doing it and you know, give thanks, and it's a wonderful way to observe the holiday. You don't have to be inside, or you can take your ritual outside and do a ritual outside if you feel inclined to. So I just thought that this was a great way, or a great viewer request, because we have our Sabbath today. Yeah, so that is what I have to say about Solitaries and Sabbats, is that it's quite nice because we get to kind of celebrate how we see fit because we're not tied to a coven. Yeah. Or, you know, that's another thing too, being a solitary, is you can join a public circle on those days and celebrate that way too, if you'd like to. Yeah, so that's a little bit of tips on how to create a ritual if you're so inclined to do so, or just remembering that you don't have to do a full-on ritual if you don't want to. There's other ways to celebrate the holidays. So I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day reading some Harry Potter outside with my beautiful roses. I don't know if you guys got to see them or not, but I'll post a picture later. So hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye. Piper wanted to say hi, so hi, Piper. Bye.